Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another action-packed episode of the Analyst Desk. Of course, you know who I am. Or at least I hope you do by now. And if you don't, I'm Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Sam. How's it going today, Sam?
Awesome. We had 2 great games yesterday, 3 more today, and we're gonna have you covered. We're gonna talk some football before the games, so I'm doing great.
Oh, like this is gonna be an awesome game. I'm really, really looking forward to what these two teams have to offer. I mean, not these two teams. Sorry, I guess I'm thinking first of the Bills game. So that's the game that I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to as a Bills fan, right? But how's it going, David? Always good to hear from you at the desk, and welcome back to the desk. And thank you for the Lyco. Always appreciated. I would say that this should be a very interesting. There should be an interesting few games here. And I will say, too, I think these games have a lot to live up to after the way the games went yesterday, right? Like, let's be honest, wild card games aren't always known as the best games available, but I think these last few games have shown otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, we were even talking about the Rams and Panthers to begin the day. Like the Panthers could have easily won that game. That game was there for them, but the Rams came through and won. It was a close game, 1-score game, and then you have the Bears at the end with the great second half. Obviously, you'd like to see more out of Green Bay's offense. I think we kind of touched on that before we went on, but 2 1-score games, 2 close games, and 2 good games to start off the wild card.
And again, we have I think today as well, we have some games that should be pretty darn exciting. Like, I mean, I was saying to you, I feel these games have not disappointed, right? Like, we're getting some really exciting football. But I do want to ask you quickly, Sam, since you weren't on the post-game show with us yesterday, I asked the audience and got mixed reviews. I think someone from Green Bay needs to be fired after what happened in that game. What are your thoughts on that comment? Is that a hot take, or are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Well, you only scored 1 touchdown in the second half, and your defense just crumbled. So, and this, like we talked about in the pregame, you had more pressure on you, and you lost against your rival in the playoffs, which you've had your way with them not only a regular season but in the playoffs as well. So, yeah, I could see that because Green Bay's their only big win in the playoffs was against Dallas a few years ago. And that was the only. I don't think that's the only win that Matt LaFleur, the head coach, and Jordan Love, the quarterback, have had together. So
you just feel like I feel like something has to give. And you have to look at it too, like losing in the fashion that they lost to me is just unacceptable, right? And I think there are some coaches that are on the hot seat at this going into this playoffs. And the first game that I really want to talk about today is the 1:00 game, which is the Bills versus the Jags. We do have a simulation of that up on our channel. So if you do want to check that out, please do. But when you look at this game, I think this is the game that I don't know if you would agree with me, Sam. I think this is the tale of the two quarterbacks. When we're looking career stats at these two guys, like Josh Allen has certainly had the higher end career so far, but at the same time, Trevor Lawrence is really starting to come into his own this season. So do you think it's going to be the quarterback matchup that's really going to define this game, or do you see it as being something else?
I think so, because I will also say that Jacksonville's run defense is really good, and Buffalo needs to be able to run the ball to get going because they haven't gotten a lot of help other than the tight ends down the field. Like, they do have some receivers that can play, like Shakir and Gabe Davis is back, but they rely so much on the run game and the tight ends that if the run game gets stopped, then the pass game's really gonna need to step up. And I know it can with Josh Allen. Like, he is the reigning MVP, so he's obviously someone who can throw the ball. And we both follow the Bills, so we know what Josh Allen can do. I think with Trevor Lawrence, he just hasn't gotten the opportunity as much. He got injured last year. He's been
Mhm.
injured a lot. And I think this is only his second time in the postseason in the NFL as well. Obviously, a lot of success in college with Clemson, but this is a way bigger stage, and I think he has the ability to do something. I think the Bills are catching Jacksonville when they're very hot,
Yeah.
so it scares me. Also, the Bills under Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, they're 0-5 in road playoff games.
Which is a crazy stat when you think about it, right? Because I mean, you think of Josh Allen, like I don't think of him as someone who isn't clutch. Like he certainly in his career has won some big games, and even in playoffs, some of those games he's lost. You can't say Josh Allen was at fault. But at the same time, I feel this year for the Bills, you have no Chiefs, you don't have the Bengals, and you don't have the Ravens, which are three huge hurdles. Like I don't know if this is fair to say necessarily, but I think the Bills are under enormous amounts of pressure this year to get it done because there are so many obstacles that you don't need to climb.
Mm-hmm. And you don't know if you don't know if you're gonna be able to retain some of your coaches. Like I think, like you're lucky that you kept your offensive coordinator Joe Brady last year after he declined a few head coaching opportunities to come back to Buffalo. You don't know if he's gonna take another one, right? And
Yeah.
he's a pretty good offensive coordinator. So there's that, and then if you don't win, you might get rid of McDermott because he's again 0-5 in road playoff games. So this is the year for this group. Obviously, Josh Allen is going to stay, but with all the turnover, I don't think he's going to be too happy with where he's at. So this is the Bills' chance. The only problem is, like I said, they're running into a red hot Jacksonville team on the road.
Well, and that's the big issue for Buffalo is Jacksonville is a very good team, and you lost some key games in the regular season that made this road much tougher. Like you go
Hmm.
back to the loss against Miami, and one of the losses to the Patriots, you win both of those games. You're playing at home today. You maybe even have today off, right? So Buffalo has not made this easy on themselves, and you know what, Jacksonville, they're a team you don't know what Jacksonville you're going to get. Right now, they've been red hot, but before this hot streak, I mean, some people said, is this the end of Trevor Lawrence? And it was the backup quarterback in there doing some good stuff. So, like, this is a tough spot for Jacksonville, too. I feel they're I don't think Jacksonville is as in much deep whatever if they lose today as Buffalo, but I do think Jacksonville is expected to play well.
For sure, and this is another opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to show, like, hey, this is a big team we're playing. I believe in my team, and they're gonna go out there and they're gonna play because, like I said, they're hot coming in, like they're firing on all cylinders. And I think if you're Buffalo, who's notoriously bad against any rushing attack, is gonna have fits with Lawrence's ability to run the ball.
Well, exactly. I would 100%, 100% agree with you there. Like, this is gonna come down to which quarterback and which team can scheme the best to make the big plays. And I would also say too, I feel if the Bills don't get this done hypothetically today, I think there will be a lot of questions. Should have they made more moves at the deadline? Because you look at the Bills receiving core, and I think to say it's average is pretty reasonable. I don't think it's anything that people are going to be writing books about how this receiving core is dominant. And I mean, Josh Allen is Josh Allen. He can do a lot of good things, but like, and I know I'm not saying, these video games are most realistic or anything, but when you look at Shakir as your top receiver, who's like a 83, 84 overall, I mean, I think Shakir is very underrated, but he's
Mhm.
no like Justin Jefferson or a guy like that. The Bills don't have a true number one wide receiver. At least maybe that's my take. But we have a Jags fan in the chat. How's it going, Alex? Always good to hear from you.
Love the competition here. I like it that it's not all Bills. And I say
Oh
that
yeah,
as a Bills
definitely.
fan. Like, if we're doing a show and both the people on here are Bills fans, I would hope that there is at least one Jacksonville fan in here that can come from a different perspective. because obviously I follow the Bills all year, but I don't follow the rest of the league. I said this yesterday. I don't follow the rest of the league that much until after Grey Cup.
Yeah.
So I haven't followed the Jags in years. So it's nice to have someone that might have more takes, but for Buffalo, I'm very impressed with how their defense has been like down the stretch, because you had the Philadelphia game. They lost that game. It was brutal from their offense, but they held them to what, like 16 points or something, like really
Yeah.
really low. And then you had the game against the Jets, which the Jets are terrible, but like that was all second string guys on defense, and they almost shut them out.
I
And
mean, that's
obviously
also
there's
an
extra
assessment of just how
motivation because
bad the
that's the
Jets are,
last game at Highmark Stadium that's ever going to be played there. So there's
which is
motivation to someone out, shut a division rival out on your last day. But still, like, I think the defense has been a lot better. I think the defense needs to continue to play that well, because if Josh Allen, and again, like you said, I don't think the receiving core is anything to write a book about or any sort of documentary about, but they can do it. Last year, the same thing. They didn't have anybody that you looked at, oh yeah, that guy's a star. They made it work. So I'd like to see them make this work, because I know they can, and I know that Shakir and Gabe Davis. What has Gabe Davis done his entire career in Buffalo? Catch touchdowns in the playoffs.
yeah.
Tony Romo gave him the nickname Big Game Gabe.
Yeah,
So
because he seems to be able to make that big play in the big moments. But I also just think you can't sleep on Jacksonville. Weirdly enough,
no,
Jacksonville is the home team and seems to be the underdog when you're like talking to a lot of people out there. And yeah, absolutely, David. That Bears game was a scary one. He's a big Bears fan in the chat. Hey, but at least your Bears got it done. Caleb Williams' raw talent was able
yeah,
to,
first playoff win in 11 years or something. Like,
yeah, like
that
that's
was
that's
big.
awesome.
That's big for the Bears.
Absolutely. It's huge for the Bears. And hey, Alex, you know, it's hard to watch every game, right? But yeah, we're always happy to have another fan, and it is good to have fans of different teams in the chat as well. And
Yeah, if
I've
you're
just,
watching, comment your favorite team so that we know. I
oh,
know
absolutely.
Jacob knows a few of you guys who you root for, but everyone who's watching right now, and even if you're watching like later on, comment down below what your favorite team is so that we know, because it's always nice to have a variety.
Oh, definitely. And we always want to hear from you, right? As you guys know, the comment section is a big way of where we take the show and which direction we go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we always want to hear from you. But I do want to ask you, who do you think's taking this one today, Sam? Do you think the Bills are going to take this one, or do you think Jacksonville is going to win this and we could see some huge changes coming to Buffalo for next season?
Well, I I don't want that 5-0 to go 0-5 to go in 0-6. I think I don't I don't see in any circumstances Buffalo running away with this. I know when Lane and Dan did the simulation, Buffalo destroyed Jacksonville, which really surprised me, but I do not see it 41-14 or wherever it was. Like that, if I see that, okay, Buffalo's winning the Super Bowl. Or Jacksonville or Lawrence just gets injured and Jacksonville loses their whole pass rush, which is great.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing, right? Like, Buffalo's line has been great like the last like couple years, but Jacksonville's pass rush, featuring another guy called Josh Allen, if you didn't know,
Wow.
is very good. And you could see Josh Allen sacking Josh Allen, which has happened before, believe it or not. So it's best on best. Like, Buffalo's great run game, Jacksonville's great run attack. So I think it's a close game. I think that both defense. I think it's like a 27-24 game.
Okay.
Because like I could see it being like even more of a shootout, but I feel like both defenses have just gotten better. So I think that's, and I think Buffalo wins because of like Josh Allen's connections with Gabe Davis, because everyone knows the 13-second game when Buffalo had the lead with
Yes.
13 seconds left on Mahomes, and he
I
came back
remember
and
that
won.
very well.
I hate talking about that. Like, I hate it. But the Gabe Davis had 4 touchdowns in that game. 4 catching touchdowns, 4 receiving touchdowns, and he had the go-ahead one, which should have won the game. But again, that's 4 years ago.
And also too, whether you like him or lump him, Patrick Mahomes went out and did Patrick.
That was
Mahomes
incredible.
things.
That was incredible.
Like,
I know he had a timeout, but still, that's incredible.
You don't see that in the NFL very often.
No, when you see an offense have 13 seconds left and they have to go down the field and get a field goal, it never happens anymore. Because even with like the Panthers yesterday, they had to go down and get a field goal. Well, they just went 4 and out.
Yeah,
it wasn't even close. Like, they looked so bad. I was like, what is going on? So, it takes a special quarterback, and I think that's where Mahomes is better than Allen. I know you had that take earlier, like a few weeks ago.
And I got ripped a new one for that take, by the way.
Here's why I agree with you, though. Josh Allen is good in the big moments. Like, good. Patrick Mahomes is great. So Josh Allen is good, but he's inconsistent. So he can make a good play to win you a game in a big game, but he can't do it every time, or close to every time. And Mahomes can. That's how they've won 3 Super Bowls.
And I hate to say it, when I do say this, I hope I'm wrong for today on this one at least. I actually think Jacksonville's winning this one, and I think we're going to see some major changes.
Like put this over my face. I could care. It's fine.
Look, I hate saying it. I think Jacksonville is coming in really hot. I could see the Bills coming in a little sleepy because it's not your typical opponent that they've been playing in these playoffs. And I don't know. I feel the Bills at times play down to their opponents. I know Jacksonville's technically the home team, but let's be honest, everyone's expecting Buffalo to win this. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope they come out and Josh Allen does Josh Allen things, but doesn't try to do too much Josh Allen things. Because we've also seen that
because if he does that and he turns the ball over, it just can backfire so quickly.
It really can. That's
the
why
Bills are like the Bears in a way, where they're a second half team. So if they're down a touchdown or in a field goal at halftime, I'm not going to be too nervous because I know that better is coming. But let's say going into the fourth quarter and they're still down by a little bit and they're just not playing good, then you're worried. Then you're like, okay, they don't have it.
And I hate saying it, I could really see the Jags coming in really hungry. I think the Jags have been a really solid team this year. Trevor Lawrence is having a really good year. And like I said, as a Bills fan, I hope I'm wrong. As a self-proclaimed sports analyst, I got to go with who I think is going to take this one today. And I think Jacksonville will win. And I think you will see Sean McDermott be fired as head coach for the Buffalo Bills. Because I think this year is Super Bowl or bust for the Bills. I think they have to at least get to the
You have
Super
to make it 2-1.
You have to get there. Because if you didn't get there, you're going to look back and say at trade deadline, they did absolutely nothing to add another weapon offensively. Because I still think this team is one weapon away. I don't know if it was, I don't know who was even available.
I think they tried.
Well, I don't think they tried hard enough. Then I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like ownership with this team, and Sabres fans are going to hate me for saying this because it's the same over ownership. The Pagulas do everything for the Bills. It's not nearly as much for the Sabres, but I'm a Leafs fan, so I could care less. Sorry, Sabres fan. They do everything for this team. They got him a new training facility a couple years ago. They've spent as much money as they needed to spend. They got him a brand new stadium. They've done everything for this team. If they can't get it done, then I would be mad if Terry Pegula didn't fire at least Sean McDermott or maybe even Brandon Beane, the GM. I love both those guys.
Something has to give in Buffalo. I think something, if they don't get it done today, kind of like the way the Ravens fired their head coach over not making the playoffs. Like, I would say the Bills are in a similar situation.
Well, did you see the destination list for John Harbaugh? Buffalo was one of them.
Because I mean, I think I could. Why? mean, yeah, that'll be great to just see James Cook not get the ball for an entire fourth quarter like they did to Derrick Henry in that one loss. But I don't know, something I feel in Buffalo, if you don't at least get to the Super Bowl with no Patrick Mahomes in your way, something, or Joe Burrow too. You have no, and that's no disrespect to Trevor Lawrence and Drake May and
well,
all these
Drake
other
May,
phenomenal
the Patriots
quarterbacks.
scare me, dude. Like I will say this, and for context, the Patriots, I don't hate them.
Oh, I do.
To be honest, I hate the Dolphins a lot more. I
Fair.
don't like the Dolphins. I've been around too many Dolphin fans that have just trash talked me at every single moment they get, and they're just so annoying. So, the Patriots scare me because I'll talk more about it when we talk about the Chargers Patriots because that's happening tonight. But they are good on every single end of the ball, and they have home field until the championship. So they're tough.
They are.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags pulled it off today.
Like I said, I really hope I'm wrong. Yes. I really do. But time will tell. But another game obviously we got to focus on is also the Eagles as they take on the 49ers. And I don't know if you, again, maybe everyone always wants to break down the quarterbacks, right? That's what everyone always wants to talk about. However, I think it's more the running backs in this one that I'm really looking to see which running back can run away with this game. Get it? Run away. But
there you go.
I look at these two guys who I would say had underwhelming seasons to their standards, and these are still phenomenal seasons, right? So I really think it's whoever can shut down the opposing running back who wins this one. You got Saquon Barkley, who was coming off almost winning the MVP, probably should have won the MVP last year, in my opinion, as much as I'm a Josh Allen fan. And Christian McCaffrey, who I think is consistently the best running back in the NFL.
I think positions other than quarterback should get more consideration. I know it's the most valuable player, so the quarterback is normally the most valuable player. But I think for the NFL, they need to restructure it a little bit because they need to give the best player, like the CFL, like the most outstanding player, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's a big difference between most valuable player and most outstanding player.
That's where the quarterbacks get it, because the quarterback position is the most valuable. The quarterback could be a running back as well, like Lamar Jackson. I've said this
or even Josh
for
Allen.
years that Lamar Jackson could be a running back.
But I really feel this game is going to come down to which running back can control the line, which team can control the line of scrimmage. And that's no disrespect to Brock Purdy or Jalen Hurts, but I think they are more game managers versus game breakers. And that's no disrespect to either one of those quarterbacks. I think they're phenomenal QBs. I just feel like these are the two guys that can probably break this game wide open for either team.
Here, this is scary right now for San Francisco a little bit, because I know Philadelphia has kind of, they've struggled a little bit. But the secondary for San Francisco has been a little suspect, and they don't have as much of their weapons as they do on the defensive front. So if Barkley gets going and if Hurts is able to find Smith and Brown, then this thing could get a little ugly.
Wow.
But San Francisco's offense as well has been really good down the stretch.
And you mean
that Seattle game's a little bit of an outlier. Like Seattle really shut them down because Seattle has a very good run defense. I think they're the best in the league.
I would agree to that.
Yeah. So I think San Francisco does have the ability to keep up, but you really have to. And they're missing a lot, right? So they would normally play a man-to-man defense,
right?
Which is traditionally better against a running attack because you have more people at the line. Right now, because they are missing so many guys, they've been playing a lot of zone, which is not good against the run. And if you're smart enough, you can pick it apart in the pass game.
Right, so exactly.
That's where San Francisco is making me a little bit nervous because they're missing a lot of guys. But Philadelphia, I don't know. Hopefully for them, they can wake it up a little bit because I think there are weaknesses that you can attack with the 49ers. But I think San Francisco as well on offense can match if
Well, I
they're
mean,
playing.
you also look at George Kittle, which I know he wasn't in our head-to-head there for graphics, but I think George Kittle's another one that could be a big game changer for the 49ers, right? And Jalen Hurts, you just don't know what Jalen Hurts you're going to get. And the only thing I will say with him, he seems to step it up in playoff games. He's been to the last, he's been in the Super Bowl twice now in the last couple years.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
both Super Bowl games, even the one the Eagles lost, I thought Jalen Hurts played phenomenal.
I thought he played great too. Yeah.
He
And then the
seems to
last
do
one,
it.
he just picked apart Kansas City. It wasn't even close.
It wasn't, which I loved watching. But
Oh, I did too. It was great.
But I will say with the Eagles, I think they do a good job at evaluating risk, knowing when to take big shots and look when to just keep the game close. But Brock Purdy, give him credit too. He's had some injuries this year, but he's played really well. And I mean, my gosh, if Kyle Shanahan, he made Mac Jones look like a very good quarterback.
Kyle Shanahan's a very good offensive head coach.
He is. He's definitely a quarterback whisperer when it comes to NFL guys, right?
Yeah, you could say the same thing. Like I think Sean McVay is pretty good with defense, and offense, and he comes from Shanahan's system. I think Kevin O'Connell's like in Minnesota, great for quarterbacks. He also came with Sean McVay. That's where he won a Super Bowl a few years ago. So I think there are a couple head coaches that you could say that are great offensive minded guys, and Shanahan's definitely one of them. So
he is. So I'm very curious to see. I think the Eagles are more built on managing the game, where I think the 49ers want to put up points. So mind you, even though, like, I mean, look, Kyle Shanahan, he took Jimmy Garoppolo to a Super Bowl. Like, I mean, he seems to honestly, it's why I did question when they gave Brock Purdy the paycheck they did. I don't know if they really need a game breaker quarterback to be very successful in the 49ers. But I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see how they do today.
If you have a coach that's great offensive minded, you just need consistency. Kevin O'Connell, I mentioned him. He hasn't gotten consistency. Right? He had Darnold, but then he got rid of Darnold. McCarthy struggled with injuries, and at some points he hasn't looked good. So that's that. And then also he had Kirk Cousins a few years ago, again, inconsistent as well. With Brock Purdy, some would call him a system quarterback, but he's also super consistent. And every once in a while, he can make the great throw that you'll be like, oh my gosh, that just happened. So I think, again, like when they played the Colts a few weeks ago, like they lit up the Colts. And the Colts at the beginning of the year had a really good defense, but they had injuries, so it was a little banged up. So they can score a lot of points, but can they do it in this environment against the Eagles?
Well, that is the $1 million question. Philly, that crowd's going to be loud, right? Like,
right. And we saw this matchup a few years ago in the NFC Championship game, but Brock Purdy got injured, so we didn't get to see the full game. I think.
Well, yeah,
at the
not even
the
just
game,
Brock
they were
Purdy. They
matching
literally
them
had
quite
Christian
well.
McCaffrey, a quarterback at the end of that one. Like, it was just a complete. I felt so bad for the 49ers in that game. It was just complete. The worst situation could happen. They had no one who could throw.
Right, they couldn't even see their team compete because even the second string quarterback got injured.
Yeah, because he actually looked okay until he got hurt, and I believe it was the next year NFL changed if you can have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Which, I mean, I don't know why the CFL has been doing that for years. I'm not sure why it took the NFL that long to realize. Even in the NHL, you have an emergency backup goalie. You don't tell Austin Matthews to strap on the goalie pads and hope for the best.
So you don't get the Zamboni driver to come out?
No, now they're doing it where it's like a prop. It's funny, there was a game last year where if one goalie got injured and the emergency backup was Cujo. That would have been cool to see Cujo strapping on the pads for the Leafs one more time. But I would have paid to see that, and I don't even like going to Leaf games. I think they're way too damn expensive. But
I'll end up going, but
I've only been to 2 games in the last like 6 years, just because I think the ticket prices are ridiculous. But who are you taking in this in this one, Sam? Do you have the Eagles or you got the 49ers?
I think it's. I mean, I'm rooting for another close game. I think it's going to be another close game. Just like when you look at the matchup, because I think Philadelphia will expose some of these weaknesses, but I think San Francisco is such a good team that they will come back. So I think Philadelphia gets off to a big start. But then I think San Francisco kind of comes back and makes it a one-score game. So it's like I'm gonna say like 30-24 Eagles.
Okay.
Because I think it could easily be like 27-3 at one point. But I think that San Francisco in that offense, like they can score bulk points if they have to.
Mhm.
So I think they're gonna make it close, but those like if you can't defend against like Saquon Barkley, he's gonna pick you apart. Like Zach Charbonnet with the 49 Seahawks ripped apart San Francisco in that game.
Yeah.
And Zach Charbonnet, no offense, but you are not Saquon Barkley.
No, definitely not.
Like
Like Saquon
Charbonnet's been
Barkley, as
very
much as
good
he's
this
had
season for Seattle. Like give him
Mm.
like, and they're the number one seed, so he's a great running back, but you're not Saquon Barkley.
No, I mean
So
Saquon Barkley is one of the best, right?
you
I
give
mean, and
Saquon Barkley even the smallest of holes, and he'll rip it 80 yards.
well, what's so impressive with Saquon, I would say with both of these running backs, them having off years are still 1,000-yard guys. So
Yeah,
just to put
yeah,
that into
and
perspective.
McCaffrey's publicly said he's doing terrible this year.
Ben, I mean, look, him doing terrible is still top 10 in rushing. Like he's a guy that is a game breaker, which is why for me personally, I'm taking the 49ers in this one. I feel the Eagles, this has been the worst version of the Eagles over the last 3 years. There's always been drama in the locker room, behind closed doors, in the media,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think this game is going to be high scoring, and I don't think the Eagles have enough offensive power to go touchdown for touchdown with the 49ers. I'm not saying
See,
they
that's the
can't.
thing. Like
It's
I
not
worry about it.
impossible, but
There's
I
like
feel if
weaknesses,
there
but like
are, but
they don't
I don't know,
know
I
how
love
to
this
get it going
49ers offense.
sometimes. If they don't have it, then I don't
Mm.
care if there's weaknesses. They probably they like sometimes there's just a mental block. I don't know what it is. Like are they just calling the wrong routes, or like is Hurts like overthinking stuff? Like that's the thing. Like if any of that happens, I agree with you. I think San Francisco might steamroll them because that's the team. Like San Francisco is a really good football team. But it really depends on is Philadelphia willing to step up? Because if
Well, and
they
I
are, they
just
can
think
win
for
the
the
game.
49ers, look, you have to at some point get there or you got to make major change. I would say they're in a similar, not quite the same situation as the Bills because I feel no disrespect to the Jags, I feel the 49ers have a tougher road to get there than the Bills do so far. But I feel the 49ers are another team that are expected to make either the Super Bowl or conference finals bare minimum. Like they're expected to go on a run. And it sucks for them that they got the Eagles in the wild card. That's tough, but you got to beat the best. You got to beat the champion at some point. So for me,
Yeah,
I
like San
think
Francisco, I feel so bad because like
I know.
they ran into the Chiefs 2 years in the Super Bowl. They were so close the second year in Vegas. It's just like, oh man. And then the 1 year quarterback gets injured in the NFC. It's like, oh, can they catch a break?
I know they've certainly had some rough goes at it, but at the same time, look, you also got to win your games. We don't want to
Yeah.
sound like, as I like to call Dan out for his complaints about the Leafs 1993 playoff run. It's like, look, at the end of the day, you still got to find a way to get it done. But I want to move on now to the final game of today because there's 3 games today. And what I'm very curious, and I know I just said we always want to look at quarterbacks, but I really want to take a closer look at these 2 quarterbacks between Justin Herbert and Drake May, or Drake May, which I don't understand how his nickname could be Drake if his name is Drake. But I'm very curious to see which one of these quarterbacks steps up, because Drake May's never played in an NFL playoff game. I know he's had big college games. It's not the same. Justin
I would
Herbert.
argue he's never been in a great college, like big college game either. Like North
Okay.
Carolina is not that. I mean, I would say he's played some good opponents. I think you're right on that. But he hasn't played in the playoffs in college before.
Okay. That's good
So
to know.
he's untested. He had that big game in Buffalo early in the season where they came out and won, but I would argue that their offense wasn't even great in that game either. I think there was just mistakes all around in that early game where it was just like I think the Bills turned the ball over 4 times that game.
They did.
So I would
Because the
argue that
Patriots have had a and give credit where credit's due. Even though they had an easy schedule, they beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
they're amazing. And any Mike Vrabel defense is good because they're going to play tough, and their run game is really good.
I'm just looking for one of these quarterbacks to really, who can step up in the big moment is my big question. Because Justin Herbert's very frustrating to me because I think he has all the intangibles to be a top tier quarterback. He just can't seem to put it all together in the big game. Where Drake May, again, still name makes no sense to me, but he's someone that we haven't really seen if he can put it together in the big game because, as you said, his college career didn't have that big playoff moment. His NFL career, I mean, it's taken some time, but he's starting to show he's an elite gamer. But can he be an elite gamer in a playoff game? That's the big question for me, right? Like, which one of these guys can, or even just say this, which one of these guys can limit the mistakes? I don't necessarily say one of these guys has to put up a 300-400 yard game. But if they can put up, we'll say a 220 yards, maybe a touchdown and no interceptions, which one of these guys can play a clean football game? The Cody Fajardo recipe to success, if you want to give a CFL comparison to our CFL fan base. Like, which one of these guys can be? Everyone looks down on game managing. And I think game managing for a quarterback sometimes is critical. Sometimes you don't need to be Superman. Sometimes being Robin is all you need to be, right? So which one of these guys can be Robin? If that makes any sense to you, which one of these guys can be Robin?
Yeah, I think the Chargers confused me because they're so like one game their offense is great, and the other game they're not so good. I think what I've noticed, and especially in the last 2 years under Jim Harbaugh, is they focus a lot on running the ball, which has always been Harbaugh's thing, and they get a lot of chunk passing plays, whether it's like Lad McConkey, they're a good wide receiver, or like a long run play, which they haven't gotten a lot of them. I think when they go for checkdowns, it doesn't work out for them so much for some reason. So,
but do you think that's maybe because at times they're like with Herbert, and when I've watched in Charger games, I feel a lot of times he's trying to hit the big play, and by the time he just accepts the checkdown's covered.
Yeah, I also think that because Herbert can be mobile, there's a lot of guys around the line. So a lot of the time, even if they're like slightly open, they're not really because there's too many guys there expecting him to run or throw the ball deep that if he's taking too much time and they get a good chance to look at him like looking for checkdowns, then those are going to be defended. So he needs to make quicker decisions, to be honest. I just what Chargers are we going to get? And secretly I root for them because like their content team is amazing and I binge watch their videos all the time.
Right.
If you ever wanted to know what goes on behind the scenes of an NFL team, just follow the Chargers on YouTube because they're amazing. Their content
Adam's a big Chargers fan, so for Adam's sake, I hope Justin Herbert does well.
I hope so too. Being a Bills fan and then someone who watches a lot of Chargers videos, I'm secretly rooting for the Chargers here.
And yeah, I would say that too. Like, I'm hoping the Chargers win, but I hate to say it, I actually think the Patriots will win this game.
Me too.
And that's no disrespect to any Patriots fans in the chat. I
like I said, I don't hate the Patriots. I hate the
do, but that's okay. I'm more of the fact with the Patriots. It's just they had Tom Brady for so long, and I thought it'd be longer than this until they got another dominant quarterback. Now, but Drake May does have a lot of pressure because he is being compared to Tom Brady, which I think is an unfair comparison. Whether you like Tom Brady or not, as you know, Sam, I've made some comments about Brady on the fact that, maybe he didn't have the cleanest career when it came to ways he got things done, but at the end of the day, he won a lot of games.
He really was kind of not in terms of like in a certain year. I think he was inconsistent year to year. He would have some years where they would not be great. Like they would, but like they wouldn't be like the Patriots that no one wanted to play. They would
Yeah.
be vulnerable one year. And then the next year they would just win 16 games and get to the Super Bowl.
It really is crazy, right? But like I think Drake May has it. I think he is it. Like he is him, as the cool kids would say. And I hope I'm wrong, because I would much rather see the Chargers get this done. I think it'd be nice to see Justin Herbert finally get over that hump. And I'm going to ask you this, Sam. If the Chargers don't get over this hump, do you see them moving on from Justin Herbert if he has another kind of crappy playoff game? I mean, it's also on the offensive line as well. I remember last playoff game, he got sacked so much because the line just kept falling apart. But I feel this is a really important game for Justin Herbert's career, not just to win, but he's got to at least play well and show he can play well in playoff games.
Yeah. Either that or you really need to find a way to build your scheme around him better. Like I feel like you need to give him more reps throwing the ball. I don't know, because like the other thing is he's always like banged up. Like he may not be fully injured, but he's always like favoring something.
Okay.
So either like you said, protection, like this guy just stop, like don't let everybody eat him for breakfast. Like
Nom 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 nom.
well, it's almost it's 1 o'clock. It's not breakfast time.
Well,
So,
no, but you know what?
lunch.
I haven't had breakfast because I usually don't eat breakfast. I just drink a lot of caffeine because I got to be wired for all these games. But
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. There you
but
go.
no, like I just feel for Justin Herbert, and I get what you're saying too, Sam. I know he's been injured a lot, and I understand that is obviously a part of a reason why a quarterback can be great or not great. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to play through injuries and win some of these big games. And I'm just waiting for Justin Herbert to have that big moment. And if he doesn't have that big moment this year, I honestly do wonder, is it time for the Chargers to move on and just bring in someone different?
Yeah, yeah.
Because let's be honest, it's not like Justin Herbert's a Josh Allen, who I know hasn't got it done yet, but it's like, okay, he's Josh Allen. He's arguably one of the best. He's arguably a
He
top
can
three
make it
quarterback
work
in
on
the
an
NFL.
off day, whereas Justin Herbert, if they have an off day, they're not winning.
No, they're not.
Like if the Bills had an off day, they could still win because of Josh Allen.
Where I don't feel Justin
And
Herbert.
you could argue the Chiefs as well. The Chiefs on off days would pull away a win when Patrick Mahomes was good.
Well, yeah, which was interesting this year. Patrick Mahomes just did not look like the Patrick Mahomes that we're used to seeing.
No, he looked terrible.
Which really is crazy. But
I still think if they got in, they'd be scary.
Oh no, if I'll put it this way: if the Chiefs got into the playoffs, you could still say they're a Super Bowl contender, even though they didn't have a great year. It's kind of like I would compare the Chiefs to like the Florida Panthers in the NHL. They might not have the best year, but if they make the dance, they have a very good chance of getting there.
Yeah.
And getting all the way to the Super Bowl. And I feel the same way about the Chiefs. I mean, that's what I mean. The Super Bowl is wide open. You have no Chiefs, no Ravens, no Bengals. As I still feel with Joe Burrow, if he was healthy the whole year, the Bengals probably win their division.
And your number one seed in the AFC is like the Broncos are like, that was fluky, I think.
You think that's, I don't know. I really
I love their defense, but their offense, like, why are they not good? They're bad.
I don't know. I think Bo Nix has that dog in him when he just seems to be able to make that big play.
The Broncos are like the Chargers on offense. Like one day, like they're good, and then the other day they can barely score 14 points.
That's fair. I just feel though for Chargers, Justin Herbert's not a young quarterback anymore.
No.
you're expecting him to take that next step. So I don't know.
Well, he's around Josh Allen. He's maybe a little bit younger than Josh
Yeah,
Allen.
but to me, though, Josh Allen is someone, again, too, I think you're expecting him to take the next step. Now, you're not going to get rid of Josh Allen in Buffalo.
No.
Because he's Josh frickin' Allen. The only quarterback who's maybe better, you can argue, is Patrick Mahomes.
I wouldn't even trade
this
that
year.
right
I
now.
just mean in
Yeah.
over their 10 years. And
well, they had the draft pick lined up, everybody, and then they traded.
I can't even say the Bills made a bad decision drafting Josh Allen. The guy's incredible.
No.
It's just, so that's what I mean. In Buffalo, if they don't get it done, you're gonna look. I think
there are different drafts too.
You're gonna look at coaches. You're gonna look at the GM, and you're gonna be like, what do we need to do to give Josh Allen enough to win a Super Bowl? I don't feel Justin Herbert is in that same category. You might be like, maybe it's time to move on from Justin Herbert.
Yeah, or really,
which I think the Patriots will win this game, and I think then we're going to be talking about what do the Chargers need to do moving forward.
Yeah,
that'll be the $1 million question. I don't have $1 million.
You got your big name coach, you got your big name quarterback, like you've got a pretty good defense. Like they have a pretty good defense. What else do you need? Like, I think he's got some pretty good weapons to throw to. It's just putting it together, and they haven't.
Which it looks like the Jags-Bills game is underway. It looks like the Jags are just about to punt the ball to the Bills on their opening drive. So if you're a Bills
Don't fumble the ball, Buffalo. Don't fumble it. Jeez, that happens way too much in the NFL.
It's almost like it's because they're so used to just not having to run with like kickoffs. I don't know what it is, but we're seeing it a lot in the NFL this year.
There was a certain stretch, I forget, maybe a few years ago in the CFL where I saw so many fumbles on kickoffs. I'm like, you know what? This is a little sloppy, but it's kind of fun.
Now, I will say, though, that's why in the CFL you have kick return specialists, because the kick return game in the CFL, that's something actually I would love another day.
I love that part of the CFL.
To pick your brain on about should the NFL with the new kickoff rules start looking into teams start getting kick return specialists. But that's something for another day, obviously.
Special teams game in the CFL.
Oh, special teams game is so much more critical with just the way that game's designed.
Right. There's just a lot more punts.
There are with 3 downs.
Johnson's trying to fix that a little bit. So
with more, but I mean, like there's a whole. I mean, again, this is a whole hour conversation, and we don't have an hour because the Bills game's already started. Yeah. I want to watch my Bills hopefully win, even though I don't think they will. I hope I'm wrong. But on that bombshell, thank you very much for joining us at the Analyst Desk. Remember, if you have not yet,
subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe to the channel.
Patriots 24, Chargers 17.
Ooh, both of us are picking
let's get that in.
The poor Adam. I'm surprised Adam isn't here in the comments. It's probably because he's on the train.
What I'm rooting for? Chargers 31, Patriots 3.
I agree with you on both of those. I'm hoping the Chargers kick their butt, but I think the Patriots will win that game, and we're going to be having conversations later in the week about what the heck the Chargers do from here. But I want to thank everyone very much for joining us at the desk. Thank you to all the comments from Ontario Secret, Alex, and David. I know other people don't always comment, but we always appreciate the viewership. We will, at least I know I will be back with, I'm not sure if Sam, you can join us tonight, probably, but like we will be doing a post-game show. At least I'll be here and I'll make more for your money. Put his butt in front of a computer after all these games today so we can break them all down. Plus, we'll have more coverage throughout the week in the NFL and the teams that got eliminated and what's their next steps. Plus, we still got to break down all those CFL grades by the Players Association. So we had a lot of content. We had a lot of football content.
I might not be on the post game, but Football Talk is going to be recapping all the games except probably Monday night because I record on Mondays. So maybe not. We'll talk about it though.
We got a lot
coverage
to talk
you could
about.
ever ask for.
I do want to thank Sam from Football
CFL
Talk.
grades.
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah, Sam, I'd definitely love to have you on that show about the grades. I think it'd be great if we can break that down together.
Oh, absolutely. You just tell me no, let me in.
Bills do have the ball now on their own 23, 1st and 10. So on that, it is time for us to sign off for the afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us at the Analyst Desk, where every day feels like game day. Thank you very much, Sam from Football Talk, for joining us. Remember, if you want to watch his content, it's all at the Analyst Desk social media and YouTube channel. And remember, we have some big news coming up in the near future involving a whole bunch of content. It's going to be huge. It's huge.
It's so
Size does matter when it comes to this news. So thank you very much for joining us at the analyst desk. Until next time, remember, when you're at the analyst desk, every day feels like game day. Enjoy all the football today, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye now.